Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Winter Park Library and the Edith Bush Center. We are about to begin. How many of you, this is your first time in the building? Show of hands. Thank you for coming. I get to work in this beautiful building every day, and it actually makes it nice to come to work, even though it's work. So I want to introduce you to our MC for today. It is not me. We are fortunate to have, how many of you have been with us before? Oh, okay. So for your benefit, Darlene is not here today, but we are fortunate to have Felicia Ashley, her coworker from Channel 9. So I'm going to invite you to take the stand and you take the show. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. I'll say we have a lot of Caribbeans in here, so I know it could be vibrant. Going. Good afternoon. Well, welcome to the Winter Park Library's third annual Heart and Soul Celebration of Black Culture. So first, want to thank you all for joining us. As she just mentioned, I am Felicia Ashley from WFTV Channel 9. I'm also originally from New York, and I'm also have and carry me West Indian roots. My family is Guyanese as well as Jamaican, so I'm very proud to be here. Yeah. We are in the beautiful Edith Bush Theater, and you were listening to the sounds of Powerhouse Family Steel Pan, who hail from the island of Trinidad. Yeah, we invite you to sit back as we embrace the Caribbean. I know I see the patterns, I see the colors, I see the energy. So let's just to get us all up and going. If you represent a country, island, raise your hand. All right, and shout out where you're from. All right. So when you hear someone come up, if they are also representing where you're from, feel free to stand up. Let's show who is the loudest, the most supportive, the most energetic. You can start a little competition today. To quote Miss Barbara Chandler, as we celebrate Black History Month and all of the wonderful cultures, the art, the food, the music, most importantly, the history, the then, the now, but also the future, I'm very excited to be part of today's journey. So let's also acknowledge how the Caribbean diaspora has significantly contributed to the rich tapestry of Black history, leaving a permanent mark on the various aspects of society. Our readers and artists today embody that thinking as they represent their native islands, our native islands as well. We'll hear readings and see art from Barbados, the Dominican Republic, Grenada, Haiti, Jamaica, Nevis, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, leaving a permanent mark on the various aspects, beginning with Patrick Nose, representing Haiti, followed by Carmen Nibs from St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands. So if you guys started, so they gave you a little taste. So whoever's next, you got to rev it up just a little bit, okay? Now, first, we're going to welcome to the microphone Haitian author Mr. Patrick Nose, reading his original work, Lugawu, The Adventures of Patrick Nose. Thank you.
Wow. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I'm usually loud being Haitian, but I think I might have to adjust it if you don't mind to make sure I project. Here we go. Well, my name is Patrick Nose. I'm a painter sculptor, but growing up in the island of Haiti, we are often to be to go to sleep. They tell us stories, and to my surprise, one night my brothers and I were walking in what we call a promenade, and we encountered everything that we were ever told as a story into a reality. So this little book is called Lugau. Can you say Lugau with me? Lugau. So these are the adventures of Patrick Nose. Who is Patrick Nose? That's Patrick Nose right here. So I wrote this in English so that everyone could understand. So mind you, this is usually told during the nighttime when everything is all kind of birds and not birds at night. Now, come on now, but these crawly little creatures crawling at night. So I'm going to start the reading of Lugahu. Growing up in Haiti in the summer of 1972 was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. I lived with four of my brothers in my father's house, all of us getting ready to go various parts of the world. That means we were all going to be dispatched to Canada, America, and I came to America. Amongst the oldest was Jocelyn, was my cousin, 19 years old, in charge of us when my father was not around. I wish I could share the pictures with you as I turn the pages, uh, but you could always try Amazon and get the book. Every Sunday afternoon, it was customary for us all to bathe in the river and then go home to get ready for a pom pom. A pom pom was what we call a promenade. Pom pom. Ah, pom pom. Sounds like a music, a song. A short promenade around the town. We all gathered in front of the house to determine which directions we will take. Jocelyn decided we would go the opposite direction from the house, a location we never ventured before. All six of us began our journey that normally would end before dark. The afternoon was beautiful, a typical Kinskov. Kinskov was where I grew up. Afternoon with hummingbirds and cool breeze that scattered the fragrance of jasmine in the atmosphere. Ah, you thought Haiti only smelled like smoke. We entered a part of the area we never knew existed. It is far into a wooded area. As we approach, we notice a huge white house with giant oak trees lined up on both sides of along the driveway. And at the end of the driveway was a house. Suddenly, we heard a big dog barking very loud. The dog came from the second floor balcony to the house and started chasing us. It was the biggest dog I've ever seen in my entire life. we ran we ran so far that we got to the other side of the mountain, leading to the road that leads to father's restaurant. My father had a restaurant and nightclub. So by now it was starting to get dark. On the road, we noticed a man standing under an electric pole. The closer we got to the man, the taller he became. Ah, this man is called Met Minuit. If you want a child to go to sleep fast, you tell him about Met Minuit. He's gonna go to sleep right now, right now. We call him the Midnight Master if you were to translate in English. Suddenly, the church bell strikes midnight in Haiti, but the Catholic Church is customary for the every hour they sound the bells. When we look back, the men disappeared from thin air. There was no more Met Minuit as he walked. I don't know if you could see it, but that same walking is very tall. And if you see that man, you need to run. We were now at father's restaurant, feeling a sense of relief, thinking we were safe, when a flash of light went flying from above our heads. Ah, this is where Lugao comes in. In panic, we started knocking on metal gates for the restaurant, because in Haiti you have a metal gate, hoping the guardian of the property would open the gate. Since the restaurant was closed, the man was sleeping inside. So what we saw was flying closer from above our head. Jocelyn dropped to her knees and began to pray. Meanwhile, the object flying across formation, it created a cross formation. So it flew this way and then it flew that way. So we were scared out of our wits. We started praying. And so it looked something like this, right above our heads. So at the end, you're going to see what this man looked like to us. I'll tell you afterwards. I'm trying to get to the end too. And then it was hovering in the center of the cross down at us. It was a man with half his body engulfed in flame with his arms spread out like wings. I don't know if we ate too much that day, but that's what we saw. So something like this. This is 40 years after I saw the image of this man. And this is what we saw that night. I don't know. I saw it with my own eyes as a child. I gotta believe it. As we prayed on our knees, crunched up holding each other and locking up. We heard the horn of a car. It was father. The headlights of his car blinding our view. When we looked up again, the Lugau, boogeyman, if you will, was gone. We never spoke of that night till now. So after I wrote this book, it was 40 years later, how you say, and we never spoke of this story. But when I called my brothers 40 years later, we each saw the man in a different way. So this is my father. I always call him James Bond because he always wore a suit. That's why I always wear a suit. As he came out of his car, saving us, but we never told him what we were doing there. We, of course, got spanked. So this little story, Lugau, is a story that every children in Haiti would have heard uh, from a version of someone in Haiti as an adult. Usually the time is 8 o'clock before we go to bed. So this was my version of it. Whether it scared you or not, I hope it didn't, but it showed my truth. And I thank you. I think that's
Next, we will have Carmen Briggs. Nibs, sorry about that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carmen Nibs. I hail from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. Today, I'm going to do a piece by a Virgin Islands author. His name is Johannes Henley, and the book is called Bro Nancy and Sis Iwana. Bro Nancy or the Anansi tales come from West Africa and are told throughout the Caribbean. This here is Sisiwana, which is short for iguana. And Sisiwana is, wish I could have gotten a bigger one, but he's a bit small, but you can see him right there. And then this is Bro Nancy, the cunning spider. A long time ago, Bro Nancy and Sisiwana were best friends. Bro Nancy heard that there was going to be a feast, lots of food down the river under the water. To come, you had to bring a friend. So Bro Nancy says he'll take Sisiwana with him. So he said, Sisiwana, they have a big feast, lots of food. It's going to start in a little while. It's deep under the river, under the water. You coming? Sisiwana said, sure, I'll be there. But Sisiwana knew something was wrong with that plan because she knows that Nancy cannot swim. She also started to think to herself, food, Nancy is very greedy. Something is wrong. Well, they agreed, and Sisiwana said, we'll go, and we have to have rules. When we get to the bottom, I want you, Sisiwana is telling Bro Nancy, Greedy and Nancy, I want you to let me eat as much food as I can. Don't stop me. Just let me eat. Bro Nancy agreed. Then Bro Nancy said, wait. Before we go down, I need to put some rocks in my pocket so I won't float back to the surface. Sisiwana said, sure, go ahead, put the rocks in your pocket. So he stuffed his pocket and they went down on the river. When they reached the bottom, there was lots of food. Bro Nancy, cunning, looked at Sisiwana and said, wait. Before you eat any food, you have to clean your hands. Clean before you eat. Clean. No blue hands, no yellow, no green. They have to be clean. Sisiwana thought, Bro Nancy again. Bro Nancy was laughing. He had played a trick on Sisiwana. because no matter how much she washed her hands, they stayed green. And that means she couldn't get any food. Then she realized, hmm, Bro and Nancy played a trick on me, but tricked me once, I got him. So she said, Bro Nancy, anyone who has rocks in his pocket, you have to throw them out because we don't want rocks falling in the food and rocks among what we have to eat. So Greedy and Nancy, thinking about the food, forgetting what the rocks were for, started throwing out his rocks. Rocks left, rocks right. And as he started to throw the rocks out, he got lighter and lighter. And then he floated to the top. And he didn't get any food. And Sissy Wanna was laughing. Wheel in, story Ben. And that was the trick that Sissy Wanna played on him. And the moral of this story is when you're trying to trick other people, sometimes the trick comes right back on you.
Right. Thank you, Patrick and Carmen, for both of those readings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do we have Trinidad in here? All right. I want to welcome to the stage Powerhouse Family Steel Pan rather, from Trinidad. So they're going to play some beautiful sounds for us. They played as we were all entering the room, and we'll also hear from them again later in the program as well. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy. Actually, you guys can stand up. Yes, yeah. You could do a two-step, a little shimmy, rock forward. Whatever your limits are, don't stretch too hard.
All right, next time. Hope you guys are having fun.
Thank you guys. There'll be an encore in a moment. Don't worry. So, a little background on Heart and Soul is that it's an expansion on the African American read-in, which focused on literature. Heart and Soul celebrates literature along with music, art, and food, my favorite, but highlights multiple aspects of Black culture. Our visual artists set up in the common areas, which expresses the visual aspect of today's event. The next two readers will share literature from, now, who's from Grenada? Anyone here? Let's do that just one more time. Who's from Grenada? All right. Natasha Edwards and Velma Daniel. After Miss Edwards and Miss Daniel will then continue our experience of the Caribbean with readings from Trinidad. We've heard you guys before, right? Presented by Mr. Weldon Ryan and Mr. Winston Booths Andrews. Now, first, we're going to welcome Miss Edwards.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I know it says I'm from Grenada, but I am, in a way, my grandparents are from Grenada, but I was born in Trinidad. So, all right. I'm just going to do a reading, an excerpt from a book written by Grenadian Mr. George Glean, and the book is called Searching for Higher Ground. First, I'll tell you a bit about Mr. Glean, and he apologizes for not being here today. Anyway, let's give you a bit about Mr. Glean. George A. Glean, Sr. is a lifelong teacher and student of West Indian history and culture. He is also the writer and producer of the award-winning radio documentary, History of the Caribbean People. Born and raised in the island of Grenada, George, like many Caribbean people before him, immigrated to the United States in search of a better life and greater opportunities. A father of 3 and grandfather of 7, he currently resides in Long Island, New York. A bit about his book, Searching for Higher Ground. Searching for Higher Ground follows the adventures of Sinclair, a young man living on the Caribbean island of Grenada. He loves his home and is bewildered by the growing number of people choosing to leave the island for far-off destinations like England, Canada, and the United States. But he is forced to reckon with these choices when his own parents decide to move everyone in their family except him to London, England. Left in the care of an adopted aunt and uncle, Sinclair wrestles with his life and relationships in the wake of his family's departure. Through Sinclair and his family's journey, this book chronicles the travails of the people of the Caribbean islands, people who feel compelled to leave their islands beginning in the 1850s, hoping to find a better life for themselves and the relatives they left behind. I'm sure we all know what that means. Most of us do. Let me just read an excerpt from his book, Searching for Higher Ground. Chapter 15. When I was a boy, my family lived near the sea. Most mornings, I walked to the water to take a quick dip before going to school. As a member of the track team, I was encouraged to run in the surf, the swell of the sea that breaks up the shore, to improve my leg strength and my speed. If I had a bruise or scratch or a cut, some extra healing power from the seawater would cure it in a short time. I'm sure you all know that too. Oh my God. Take a sea bath. Anything happened to go bathe in the sea. Once my friend's mom had a stroke. The doctor suggested she take a sea bath as part of the therapeutic treatment. We had no access to wheelchairs then, so I had to help my friend carry buckets of seawater to his house so his mother could have a sea bath. I almost forgot to mention that the bulk of our protein diet came to us from the sea. We ate fish every day, cooked in every way, fried, stewed, steamed, or roasted. The fishermen went out early every morning and returned home late at night with boatloads of assorted fish: barracuda, dolphin, flying fish, jacks, and others. Some days, when the catch was plentiful, the locals saved up for a rainy day by corning the fish. The vendors soaked the catch in salt, strung them through the mouth with corn straw, and put the fish out to dry in the sun. This was the way the locals preserved their fish. We ate fish almost every day, while we hoped that one of the butchers would get lucky and kill a cow, a goat, or a pig. That was rare. So eating meat became a luxury associated with only with the Sunday family meal. Villagers would say this happened only once in a while. Living so near the water, we understood the nature of the sea. During the sunny season, the sea was calm. The water receded and the tides were low, thereby exposing more sand and beach. As kids, we frolicked in her calm, balmy waters every day for hours on end. When the rainy season came, the sea became rough. We would no longer play carelessly in her choppy waters and billowing waves. The fishermen couldn't go out as often, so everyone went into their storehouses for the corn jacks and the corn flying fish, which they preserved during the times of plenty. We were taught as children to have total respect for the sea. We did. We had to because she demanded our respect. Then I either read somewhere or overheard adult conversations about tidal waves. I was petrified at the thought of them. Grown ups spoke of it as a meaningless phenomenon because they concluded these kind of things happen overseas, not here. The little I had heard about them, though, was enough to keep me awake at night. I was frightened when at the possibility of a tidal wave because of our close proximity to the water. I knew firsthand that our little island could easily be swallowed up by the sea. My entire family and I could be gobbled up. One day, I stood on the shore with my back towards the sea. I looked up and saw the lush greenery, the hills, and the mountains. Then it hit me in the pit of my stomach. If ever there should be a tidal wave, I would wake up the entire family and run for the mountains. I thought we would be safe so as long as we could get to higher ground. I deduced that the higher we got, the harder it would be for the waves to climb over the mountains and wash us away. This is how I think the West Indians' never ending quest carried on from generation to generation. They keep searching for the whole. Their search for opportunities to make their families great, always longing for dignity. They are continually running away from tidal wave of entrenched poverty and destitution. First, West Indians left their homes and ran away to bigger islands. Then they ran away to places like Panama to build the railroads and the Panama Canal. They ran away to Aruba to work in Standard Oil Company. Then they ran away to Venezuela, Cuba, and Santo Domingo to work the sugarcane fields. The West Indians kept on running to England, Canada, and the United States of America. We West Indians ran away to anywhere we could find a dollar, not just for ourselves, but also to send back home to our families. Our main obligation was to help those we'd left behind. We want to find the reason for living. We want to know the joy that comes with finally earning enough to take care of little necessities of life. There's no lust for too much, only a simple longing for enough. West Indians want to taste the joy of feeling like a somebody. The perils of West Indian life can be summed up in two words: running and searching. For some, the running is finally over. For others, the searching seems endless. Thank God for those who finally find their higher ground.
Next, we will have Velma Daniel. Come to center stage, please.
Good evening, everyone. You may look at my colors and wonder why am I wearing this, but we have to give a hand to Grenada. We just celebrated 50 years of independence. Let's give Grenada a hand. I listened to Miss, what's last name? I forgot. Talk about George's book. George Glean and my husband Floyd attended the Grenada Boys Secondary School together and were athletics competitors. My husband Floyd is at the back, and I'm proud to say I knew George from then on and know of him now. So give him another hand for that. But I happened to meet this gentleman some years ago, Mr. Wendell DeRiggs. And this book, which I'm going to read from, is titled We Kinda Talk. Mr. Anthony DeRigg was born in Grenada. He attended the St. George's RC Boys School and St. George Christian Secondary School. In 2006, Anthony was the recipient of the Distinguished Writers Award from the Grenadian American Educational and Cultural Organization of Central Florida, known as GAECO, which I belong to also. During the month of May 2018, Anthony received an award from the Senator Kevin Park of the 21st Senate District in Brooklyn, as well as the city's councils, and a citation from Brooklyn Borough President for his part in keeping Caribbean literature alive. He has appeared on various occasions at the Caribbean Cultural Theater in Brooklyn and Poets and Passions, where he read from his book. I was very touched by that book, We Kind of Talk, because it brought us back into the things we say in Grenada that so many people hear all the time but takes it for granted. Some words I might say the Trinidadians going to understand it, the Jamaicans going to understand it, the Grenadians going to understand it, and maybe the Americans may understand it. But I'm going to say a prayer in our colloquial language and the things we say. So if anybody wants to have a translation of some of the words I might say, you can see me later. It's called a local prayer. Papa God, I'm begging you, please, hear my plea. Forgive those who constantly seek to tease, tomfool, mama guy, and bamboozle others. Have pity on those who treat people like capicho, apuntan, chupidi, jackasses, baby, abuta, and laughing stock. Bless those who are scrunting and catching their nenen and their royal tail to make a little pangoy. You know what pangoy is? Money. Help those who suffer in these times that is harder than Guru, Campeche Wood, Labby Rock, and Miss Jojo's Kasham. Enlighten those who keep pulling down each other like crab in a barrel. Comfort the lonely who sit in a corner like pour me one. Brighten the countenance of those who look like what shall I do? Help us always to speak words of wisdom and not brave, kata, tutu, rango, and kakapool all the time. Shield us from the prying eyes of makos and those who like commerce, they say, say, and tebe. Stay the hands of those who look like to drug ants and set people against each other. Help the sick to soar high above their pain like bamboo and flex skies in the sky. And to those who are waiting for the time when people kick the bucket to enjoy the rum and rice and peas and curry goat in the praise and happy hour, make their wait be as long as twine or when clock have teeth. Keep us healthy, grateful, and kind so that trapper will not smoke our pipes. And help us to remember that we'll reap what we sow. For if we plant green fig, we can't expect to have blugger. dasheen, or breadfruit. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, so next we're going to have Weldon Ryan, and then immediately after that, Winston Andrews. You can follow him on the stage as well. Okay.
Yes. Good day, everyone. It's just my luck. I got to follow that. It's just my luck. Um, yeah. Well, my thanks for everyone for coming out. This is fantastic, and being part of this, it's a tremendous thing for me. Um, my name is Weldon Ryan, and some of you may know me as the Carnival painter. I paint Carnival. Um, but Naturally, my inspiration is Carnival and the Trinidad and Tobago culture, West Indian culture, you might as well say. Um, Trinidad got its independence in 1962, and a couple of months later, I came to this earth. So we came to the United States in 1969, and since then I've been working as an artist, struggling and trying to communicate and embracing my culture. Being that I was 6 years old when I got here, I missed out on a whole lot because I grew up in the Bronx and not Brooklyn. Everyone knows about Brooklyn, but I lucked out a lot, and I became a cop in New York City, and then a forensic artist after that. But the whole thing is that I was never one for words. Oh, sorry. I'm an artist. I'm a visual guy, and even as a youth, my parents and my uncles and everyone else always called me the judge because I would stop, look, and observe. So I'm not much for words, and that's why I guess that opened the door for painting. Um, well, about I'm here to speak on Carnival, and quite honest, I missed out on a lot of it being in the States all these years, but I got a part of it being a police officer in New York City. Labor Day, I'd never pass up following that. And when it came down to volunteering, a lot of the other cops didn't want to do it, but I was always front and center. So well, from that point on, I knew my genre of art, and basically, I don't know anyone else that really paint Carnival. So with that, I basically started my own genre. So here I am. Well, about 20 years ago, sitting at my studio desk in one police plaza, I read Forbes magazine, and it mentioned that Carnival, it was a 20 about a 20 million um, dollar industry. And that was amazing to me, just seeing how, that festival is so prominent, so huge that it can generate that kind of money. Um, so, it's everywhere. It's in Europe, it's Japan, from North America to Japan. It's tremendous. But Carnival, it's also a complicated origin in the sense that it's tied in with the colonialism, religion, freedom, and celebration. French slave owners threw massive masquerade balls right before the Lent. So it's that's the religious part, I suppose. Of course, the slaves were banned from partaking in any of those parties or anything like that. So naturally, what do Caribbean people do? We create our own. So that's the parallel with Carnival and so forth. They formed their own parallel celebration called Canboulay. and Camberley in time became Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival. Um, Camberley meaning burnt cane, which was the end of the harvest. Um, Carnival loosely means farewell to the flesh. Carnival is right before the Lent season of 40 days, starting on Ash Wednesday until Good Friday. So the jump up on that the weekend before all of that was it's tremendous, and Trinity say we're not working on that day at all. We off. Yeah. Well, with all of this happening in Trinidad, of course, the Brits didn't really like the fact that we celebrated so much, and besides that, we put a lot of our traditions and customs and so forth, our festivals embedded in there, so that they didn't have anything to say. But of course, they seen through that, and no matter what we did, they banned certain things that we did, the traditional drumming that we used to do and still do, stick fighting and martial arts. Yes, Africa has a lot of martial arts that we don't really talk about, but it's there, in custom and in celebration. Um, During this time, the Brits, they ruled with an iron fist, and they abolished so much. But although slavery was abolished by the Brits in 1884, um, they were rough on us. And of course, defiant Trinbagonians continued their customs, the storytelling, the singing through griots. Kaiso, calypso, soca music stem from all of that. These forms of expression is who we are, and that's what we do. They banned drumming, which led to beating on bamboo, different sizes of bamboo that makes different sounds and so on. And you might know it affectionately as tambu bamboo. And reading all these things and studying the history of the Caribbean at Trinidad and Carnival in combination with all of these things, it's been a fascinating journey for me to learn how we've survived and overcome a lot of the things that tried to keep us down. Um, Naturally, all of the beat, if we couldn't beat the bamboo after a while, that was banned, of course. So we found everything that possibly we can beat on, pans, pots, whatever, and we made rhythm out of all of those things. And naturally, after all of those things came the steel pan, and steel pan in the 20th century is the only original instrument created. So that says a lot for our Caribbean people. Um, of course, with all of that, as far as the history is, I mean, it's real complex, and I'm here stammering and trying to figure out, and I had to streamline so much because I was only given like 5 minutes. So I had to do something about that. But then comes Juve, and Juve, it's you're gonna party and be as wicked as you can, and break day, that, and then get set for the Carnival. You know, um, I had a whole lot of stuff written here. I'm not even following it because I'm just such a nervous speaker. But the influence of Trinidad and Trinidad and Tobago in the Carnival, it's spread through all of the islands, and every month of the year you'll find someplace where they have a Carnival celebration. And Orlando itself has ours. This year it's May 26th with Sam and Gannett Roberts, and they organize and get things rolling with that. It's a special time because man, it's just awesome, and it's right here in our backyard. So it's something you should think about. And what I do as an artist, I go around and I shoot all these carnivals, and I come back with images. I pick out images, people that's feeling the spirit of festival. Feeling the fete, and I just love it. I can't say enough about the creativity of the costumes and the reveling that goes on. So, make it a part of your existence. At least you have to see a one carnival. You got to live through one at least. I know we're all Caribbean. Of course, we've been there and done that. But for those of you who haven't experienced the Carnival with its vast history of rebellion and stick to itiveness, you guys just understand it's a special thing, and that's really all that I have to say about Carnival. I might as well have thrown this thing out because I didn't even follow. It just made me more nervous. But I must say though, following these the Grenadians and Carmen, man, and of course Mr. Nevis over there, it's tough. Anyway, thank you all. Memorial Weekend. Camp World Stadium Memorial Weekend. Tens of thousands of things engaging in bacchanal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Winston Andrews, Winston Booth Andrews, born in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, in 1987, I went back to Trinidad after some 20 years and experienced something. It was Trinidad Carnival. It was different to me after 20 years. So I put pen to paper and wrote something called Carnival is a Ritual. It felt like that to me. So with the accompaniment of my band, the band, some fine music, some fine music, Carnival is a Ritual. They came from all over, as they did last year and for so many years before, to this meeting place to indulge in the ritual of this carnival. The behavior was trance-like. Although they were possessed, they gathered at ports of departure, each one determined that nothing would stop them from worshiping their God, King Carnival. Their transit to the venue of worship was tense with anticipation, as they were moved by the memory of last year's ritual. Their arrival was met by fellow worshippers. Greetings were exchanged, commitments were made. The God must be served in more splendor and glory than was last year. Food of the God was offered nightly at places called Calypso tents. The food, the music, the rhythm Calypso. Food of the gods, the song that bellowed from the hilltops, from ritualistic nooks and crannies called panyards. Food of the gods, the fete, panorama, exciting, captivating. Food of the god, stimulating, appetizing, preparing for the feast of feast. God King Carnival. You bet. You raise the offering. 1 million people make, the God is pleased because the offering is bigger and better than was last year. God King Hannibal opens his arms and embraces subjects. Let the ritual begin. Carnival is alive. Oh, hey, Amayo is Carnival. Tambulas is Carnival. 1 million hearts in majestic unison. Oh God, don't stop the carnival. 1 million faces in continents of ecstasy. Don't stop the carnival. And so, for 44 hours, two sister islands in the sun pulsate, vibrate, rhythmic voices chanting, rhythmic bodies swaying, gyrating, tango drums, steel drums bellowing, the children, the fathers, the mothers jumping, shouting, color, every color mixing, blending, tempo hot, laughter loud, so much love, so much loving. Somebody shout, famous, famous. Rise of night, smile with romance, the sound of music in the moonlight, sometimes soothing, sometimes exciting. Vows made, some betrayed. Carnival reigns. The bowels of King Carnivals are filled, and so sleep calls. The ritual must be drained to its very end. Ah, it's last lap, last lap. New acquaintances tightly embrace. Music is softer, voices whisper. Quiet feet scuffle, over each other they stumble. The guitar pan strums. A lone tenor responds. A bass band dies. Sleep has taken its life. The lover whispers, "Oh God, I'm tired." Collapses. Energy expires. It's midnight, and there is the sound of silence as God, King, Cannibal sleeps. The ritual is over. Crescendo. Thank you. Thank you. Oh,
Right. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Thank you. I think everyone's Googling their flights now for Carnival for different areas, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome back to the stage the powerhouse family, Steel Pan. And then directly after that, there will be an intermission to take a look at some of the art right here, as well as in the common area. Then, when we get back here, we'll stamp our passports and we'll be visiting two more islands. So, gear up for that. So, yes, go ahead.
all right. Hello. I guess everybody. How are you, Dragon? Give me something. Give me something. Give me something. Yeah. Yeah, man. Give me. I can't try it. Give me something. Yeah, right for you. Gotta say it like this. Talking sweet. Coming fast. You have somebody so. I'm first. Remember, take the chance. Nothing happened. Everybody, boom, boom. And everybody that boom, boom. Let me know. Ole, ole, ole. Feeling hot, hot, hot. No hot, hot, hot.
feeling hot, 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 hot. Hey, hot. Huh. Wine and fire, feeling hot, hot, hot. Everybody all around me feeling hot, hot, hot. Hands in the air, celebration time. Let music captivate your mind. We have a party song, a fundamental jump. Let me run the pump pump. Let me run pump pump pump. Ole, 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 ole. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Hey, all the party people say they're feeling hot. You come to the party with what they got. All the party people say they're feeling hot. You come to the party with what they got. Hey, she's hot. They're hot. We're hot. You're hot. He's hot. She's hot. They're hot. How you feeling? 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 Hot, hot, hot. Feeling? How you feeling? Hey, how you feeling? Hot, hot, hot. Thank you. I still not hear the mic. Yeah, you got it. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Time to look at that today. No. I tell you too. I'm playing. Get me drunk. Okay, let's move. Yeah. That's the thing. That's what we do. Yeah. We play drums. You done? Yeah. That's okay.
up so that we can proceed with their readings. So, Miss Pat, you're welcome to come.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pat Quintine Hildebrand, and I hail from the beautiful island that is known as the Gem of the Caribbean, and that's Barbados. You want me to repeat again?
I would say it one more time. Just
Okay.
We didn't hear it.
You didn't hear? Okay.
And
Ready?
like basically.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pat Quinton Hildebrand, and I hail from the beautiful island that is known as the Gem of the Caribbean, and that is Barbados. I would like to introduce you to the book. I am the author of this. Is my book, the first book. Its title is Call to Serve: Memoirs of a Table Tennis Champion. I will share some of it with you, but I'll let you know a little about myself. I'll give you my bio. Pat Quinton Hildebrand is a champion of international table tennis player who, in the course of her sporting career, played for 3 countries, Barbados, Canada, and the United States, and had the distinction of representing the U.S. in the celebration of the Ping Pong Diplomacy tournament. That marked the beginning of the normalization of relations between the United States and China during the Nixon era. Pat was born on the island of Barbados in the Eastern Caribbean, where she played and enjoyed many sports suites until she discovered table tennis and developed a passion for the sport that would last her entire life. As a young woman, Pat traveled to Canada to pursue studies in nursing. Strong-willed and athletic, Strong-willed and athletic caught the attention of coaches and fellow players and became immersed into the sport she loved. It was not long before she was on track to becoming an outstanding national level player. When marriage and family took her to the United States, Pat continued to play and take on new challenges until she gained the recognition of the National Selection Committee and became the opportunity to contribute to a significant event in this country's history through her sport. Pat, the mother of 2 sons, Russell and Hildebrand, lives with her husband Robert in the Orlando area. She was nominated for the Crown of Merit Award in her native Barbados in 2003, and again nominated in 2004 for United States Table Tennis Hall of Fame for her contributions to her sport. In recent return, the competitive play, she proved she can still hold her own in the sport when she participated in the 2006 Florida Senior Championships, winning the state level and qualifying to play in the national championships. Now, I give you an excerpt from the book. This is taken from the table tennis team, the diplomacy here in the United States. That's where I select to read for you. People's Republic of China team ping pong diplomacy visit in 1972. Having the Chinese visit United States was a highly controversial undertaking. The time was early 1972, and much of the country was bitter about the war in Vietnam. The government took all precautions necessary to protect both the Chinese and us from any harm. Throughout the tour, Secret Service agents were always on our buses and visible at all the various sites we visited. Each time we ventured out of the hotel, the teams were escorted by police motorcades. In one of our briefings, we were advised not to eat or drink anything unless it was provided to us by proper authorities. On April the 17th, we arrived at the University of Maryland for our exhibition matches against the People's Republic of China. We were met by a group of demonstrators led by the Reverend Carl McIntyre. Reverend McIntyre was the president of the International Council of Christian Churches, and many of his followers had traveled from various parts of the country to protest the games against the Chinese. On our way to have dinner with the president of the university, we were rushed past picketers carrying signs that read, "Red Chinese use bats to crush the heads of capitalist enemies," and "Let's trade. You keep the ping pongers and send the UN to China." Some of the other protesters carried Bibles and American flags. Well, the games finally began at 8 p.m. We walked into the arena filled with 11,900 spectators and cheering fans. It was a moment I will always remember in my life. As our team began to play, we experienced firsthand the excellence of the Chinese table tennis. My first game was against Pigtail Xingping Ling, and it was an exciting match. During my defensive style to retrieve the ball at one point, I was told that the crowd went wild with excitement and applause. I was focused so intensely on my play, I didn't even hear one word anyone was saying. I was told about it later. Another time when I returned the top spin, Xingping Ling slammed the ball so fast, I had to go back 30 feet from the table to retrieve it. I chopped my way to a deuce game at 21. A deuce game at 21 points each, and was feeling good about my chances to win. As I prepared for my next shot, someone in the audience shouted something in Chinese. The game was stopped to address the issue. This broke my concentration, and I lost the first game at 23-21. After the interruption, I had difficulty focusing on what strategies I should use to win my second game. Even with my teammates and spectators cheering me on, I never regained my concentration, and I lost the game in set 23-21, 21-9. Although I enjoy many evenings and the opportunity to display my skills to a huge live audience and even larger worldwide television audience, I was very disappointed that I did not win that first game. The next morning, after breakfast, we were told that we were headed to the White House to meet the President of the United States, Richard Nixon. But President Nixon was going to meet the Chinese team, not the United States team. And of course, we were all disappointed. With tight security surrounding all of us, the Chinese team was already lined up on the lawn in the White House Rose Garden by the time we arrived. We were escorted to the opposite side of the garden and situated in a roped-off area. I remember one of my team members asking, "Where's the roses in the rose garden?" Because the only flowers that bloomed at that time was tulips. The president then appeared. He nodded and waved to the crowd and walked over and greeted the members of the Chinese delegation one by one. He then told them In the course of your contest, there will be winners and losers. But there is one big winner, and that's more important than who win a match. The winner is the friendship between the People's Republic of China and United States. Once that was done, the president turned and began walking back towards the White House. Never want to struggle with my shyness, I called out to him, "Mr. President, may I have your autograph, please?" Without hesitation, he walked over to where the US team was standing. I handed him a pen and a miniature ping pong paddle, which he looked at curiously and asked what it was. I explained it was my makeup mirror. He smiled and quickly scribbled his name on the back of the paddle. Afterwards, we were invited to a reception within the White House. In the map room, I'm going to read you about 2 rooms and more. In the map room, which is used by the president and the first lady as a private meeting area, I had my picture taken sitting in the Queen Anne style chair. The East Room was used for a large gathering of people attending dances, concerts, weddings, and funerals. The bodies of 7 US presidents have lain in state in this room, including Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. The room also contained a full-length painting of George Washington, which made me wonder, how many people knew that George Washington traveled to Barbados before he became president of the United States? Well, in 1751, a 19-year-old George Washington accompanied his half-brother Lawrence, who was recovering from tuberculosis, to Barbados. Washington became ill with smallpox and stayed on the island for 4 months as he battled the disease. He made a full recovery, but his face was permanently scarred. This trip was the only trip George Washington made out of the United States. After that was finished, we were given, each member of the US team was given a pin, presidential pin, as a souvenir, and this is what the presidential pin looks like. And that is just a short part of a very long chapter, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Aisha Scott. I'm here to represent Jamaica. It's wonderful to see all your great faces out there. I'd like to share a poem by Paul Bogle about a Jamaican hero by the name of Nanny the Maroon Queen, who graces the Jamaican $500 bill. She was born in 1686, and she led a community of former slaves known as the Windward Maroons. Is that better? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Awesome. She led a community of former slaves known as the Windward Maroons in the Blue Mountains of Jamaica. Together, they fought guerrilla war against the British, known as the First Maroon War, forcing the British to sign a treaty. And here is Nanny the Maroon Queen. In the heart of Jamaica, a warrior's tale, a queen named Nanny, she would prevail. With strength and courage, she led her people, a maroon legend, their spirit she would steeple. Nanny the Maroon Queen, fierce and wise, her legacy forever in our skies. A symbol of resistance, she stood tall. Protecting her tribe, she never let them fall. Through mountains and jungles, she could guide, her vision unwavering, no obstacle too wide. With strategies and tactics, she outsmarted the British oppressors, tearing their plans apart. Nanny knew the land, every tree, every stream. She'd weave through nature like a timeless dream. An expert in herbalism and traditional lore, she healed her people, their spirits she would restore. With her warriors, the Windward and Leeward tribes, they fought for freedom, never giving in to bribes. They defended their villages, their homes secure. Under Nanny's command, they were brave and pure. Her spirit echoes a freedom song that will last. Nanny the Maroon Queen, forever honored and revered in the annals of history. Her name will always be near. So let us remember Nanny with respect and pride. Her story is inspiring as we walk by her side. For her courage and determination, we give our praise. Nanny the Maroon Queen, forever lighting our days. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone. I must first introduce myself as an offspring of the Maroons. I'm originally from Portland. So here we go. Thank you. Okay, my name is Kenneth Harris. I, like I say, originally from Portland. Living in Portland, Jamdong. How about that? All right. So we're currently living, my wife and I are living in Okoye. We have a picture framing business and an art gallery in Castleberry. Okay. So yeah. So we represent the art in a very, very unique way. I started a group back in 2012 called the Power Artists Pastel Oil Watercolor. I have a representative from the group here with me today. She's waving up there. Okay, so that's what we do. We represent each other. Okay, now I'm here to represent the reggae capital of the world. Come on, let me hear you. All right. And also the man who inspired Jamaica and brought Jamaica onto the world stage through reggae, also onto the global stage, Bob Marley himself. Okay. Now, when I'm painting, I use music as my background inspiration. And let me tell you, Bob Marley's music is so inspirational. It is so realistic. When I'm painting, I use his mostly, and I get such a vibes. When my wife come into the room, when she's talking to me, I don't even hear her because I'm so deep into what I'm doing. That's how important and effective Bob Marley is. And as we know, there's a movie out about his life. Please watch the movie. Also, if you visit Jamaica, make sure you go to his museum. Fascinating stuff. We visited the museum recently and we learned so much that we have never heard prior. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is read an excerpt from this book called One Love. Okay? And it's based on Bob Marley's song One Love, and it's written by Cedella Marley. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. One love, what my family gives me. One love, the flower gives the bee. One love, what Mother Earth gives the tree. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. Come on, let me hear you. Let's get together and all right. One love, like the river runs to the sea. One heart, like the music, just feel the beat. Let's get together and feel all right. I'm telling you, when the music's playing, I mean, you feel so much, you feel no pain. When the music hits you, you feel no pain. All right, you just feel airy. Okay. One love, when your hand reaches out for me. One heart, when we touch a new world we'll see. Let everybody get together and sing one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So we have 10 more speakers. No, I'm kidding. We are we are nearing the end. This does conclude the speaking portion of today's event. Now we're going to end the program with a rendition of Mr. Kenneth Harris. This is your favorite, right? Rendition of Bob Marley's One Love, which is going to be sung by Jeffrey Hunter. So you gave us a introduction into it. You let us into it, right? So before we bring him the mic, I first want to invite Miss Barbara Chandler to come and to take a bow for not only just organizing this, helping to put it together. She partnered with the library to bring these Caribbean islands to this community, bring us all together for today's event. So thank you. We had our own mini carnival in here today in a different way, so that was beautiful. We also want to thank all of our readers, our caterer, Delight's Kitchen, for the delicious food and meal. Yes, thank you. Also, our visual artists for displaying their works, and also all the work, all the art is available for purchase. So when you're looking, just feel free to ask the artist nearby. Anyone you see that's been partnered with this program will be able to help and guide you with that as well. So feel free to approach any of the authors if you want to learn where to purchase their books so you can learn more about the culture as well. We also want to especially thank the Powerhouse Family Steel Pan for the beautiful music that they provided us with today. And of course, where we are standing right now, the Winter Park Library staff. Thank you for allowing us to use this space and put this all together. So you want to give everyone a round of applause, not just for coming, especially the kids for being involved and just everyone embracing each other and teaching us all so much today. So we look forward to seeing you all next year. We want to thank and welcome Mr. Jeffrey Hunter, who will lead us all out, but also sing and bring us to a close with One Love. So Jeffrey Hunter, thank you. Oh, he's right here. I'm looking out here. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Oops, sorry.
How y'all doing? Good. All good.
We're good.
All good. All good. Well, I heard Mr. Harris already explain it all about Mr. Bob Marley. I'm from the same parish he's from. I'm from Otrius, St. Ann. He's from St. Ann, 9 miles. So he's only an inspiration for me. I'm a reggae artist here in Orlando. My name is Jeffrey Michaels, and the book I'm Jeffrey Hunter originally. But that's what we do. So this is the part where we show love. Anybody else saw the One Love movie yet? You enjoy it? Nice, nice. There's a lot more to the story, okay? Here it is. Well, this is the part when we join hands and show the love. Or you can stand, sing along with me. I heard everybody singing just now. One love. Let's go. Let's get together and feel alright. One, yes, that's it. And I will be feeling alright. Let's get your best again. To relax, it's done. Need is love to last. One blessing enough. What on my God, just to save his own. Believe me, so I know. She was at the beginning, so to the beginning, in the end, I was to the left, and I will leave the country. So get to the land, just say what times are dead. Wesley, I'm a Gideon. Do he not know? What is no Tina? Living no praise for the honor of nation league. So one, one of us get together and see. Let's read. One of this. One heart yet together and feel alright. Children can one, children can and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Come on, so let's get together and feel alright. Come on again. Thank you very much. It was great.